Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Brave Cat here once again with another Frontier Signals update, and it's February 7th, 2026. Going into the burning the midnight oil here, basically. I've been in a bit of a monk mode today, doing a lot of the kind of crucial things in order to get this website functional, which includes a nice little 404 error page here, and then I got some of these buttons polished up a little bit here, so that's pretty neat. So let's just kind of go through things here. It's been relatively quiet in terms of space weather. However, I think the way I would describe the things with the sun right now is, well, basically it's like business in the front, party in the back. So it looks like we've had, and this doesn't even account for the whole day, this is just past, well, I guess it is past several hours. But there's been a few more far side eruptions here. So you can see one kind of shooting off here, and then another one that kind of blasts off. A little bit more of a wider projecta there. But that's basically what's going on there. Haven't really had much on the side facing us. Some of these things I'm just taking a look at now. Again, I've been in a bit of a monk mode today with various things. So, taking a look at the sunspots here, this oncoming limb has made some progression here. And these, the big scary sunspots, those are finally going away, which is nice. And then the rest of these aren't really anything to worry about. Just these little clustered little dots here. So that's looking pretty good. Hopefully this kind of just stays exactly how it is. It's looking pretty harmless. But again, the far side of the sun is having some sort of party without us, which is good. I'd rather it just kind of stay back there. So hopefully whatever developments we see in the next couple weeks, hopefully it's nothing too bad over there, and those sunspots just kind of end up dying off. Alright, I actually want to chip in a little bit of extra thing I noticed here that I feel like is kind of notable, and also because I don't want to jinx anything here, because this large sunspot group that has been causing all the scare lately, well, again, it's not gone away yet, and I noticed the very right side of this sunspot group, this was not here before. And then also this left side looks like it has actually gotten a lot more magnetically complex. So, I mean, it seems extremely likely that we would see some more flare activity still coming out of this region. So I just wanted to point that out really quick, because I kind of glossed over it, didn't really fully realize what I was looking at here. But yeah, this is actually looking probably the ugliest that it has looked in terms of the magnetic complexity here. We have a lot of mixing with the blue and the red/orange. And then again, this side over here, like this was only blue, this right side here, but now it has the other magnetic polarity mixed in there. So yeah, I just figured that was something I needed to point out really quick. And with that, let me just take another quick little look here. So let me see which angstrom would be the best here. Probably this one. Let's get this one loaded up here and just really take a closer look at what's going on here. So, it still looks fairly active. Again, it has a lot of magnetic complexity to it, and I mean, really, it looks like this thing is just holding its breath at this point. With how active this thing was, you know, when it was over here, shooting off basically something around 60 flares, including, you know, M and X flares. Yeah, this thing is literally holding its breath for us, which is pretty incredible. Looks like there is maybe some last little hurrah that it does here at the end of this clip. Again, nothing really major, but again, I thought I'd point that out really quick. In terms of the earthquakes and volcanism, that's also kind of taken a back seat. There's something I just noticed here on the volcano discovery websites, looking at the Italian earthquakes. Well, would you look at this graph up here? It certainly looks a lot different than how it has looked for, well, the entire time I've been looking at it for several months now. Where, if you recall, it basically showed the massive uptick in earthquakes like right now, but now we actually have things spread out to these 3 spikes here. And it does look like they progress. So there's 6,000 quakes here, 1997, and then in 2009, another uptick, and then 2016, 12,000. So that's certainly weird. I don't know what that's all about. But again, I'll just keep calling things out as I see it. I don't know exactly. I don't know what that's all about. But again, I'll just keep calling things out and it'll just mysteriously change. So anyways, looking on to the blasts for today and yesterday or whatever. Still a lot of different random blasts going on here, a lot of the same ongoing activity, a lot of the same usual spots. So nothing crazy there. It's been relatively quiet. So I've got the tremors turned on. That's why there's so many earthquakes right here. Most of these are really small. So if we just drag it up to 2.5 and greater, there's basically nothing. But looking at the tremors, well, we can see that, again, pretty much all of California here having potentially, you know, its ongoing slow slip events like it usually does. And we can take a look at the tremor map here. So what is this? Looking at the 7th and the 8th. Well, it's really just looking at the 7th because the 8th hasn't really happened yet, at least not here in the States. So let's see here. 161. It's definitely a bit of a downtrend compared to recently. So yeah, we can just look at the week and the activity has gone down, which could mean one of two things. Either things are slowing down, allowing for larger movement to build up, or we just simply haven't had as much pressure coming in here, which, you know, I think it's really a coin flip on that one. I mean, things have kind of died down a little bit globally. Let me just get this off the feed and take a look at, let's just take a look at the whole week. Let this kind of catch up for a second here. I'm not sure why. Okay, so this is everything. So again, we had this pretty large swarm down here, right by the San Francisco Bay area. And that has kind of simmered out. The 4.6 off the coast. A lot of the stuff coming in here from the Pacific Northwest. A lot of these volcanoes over here always going off. There's a 5. Let's see, there's a 4.8 up here. And other than that, you know, we've had some more deeper activity. Not a whole lot, but you know, pressure is just kind of cascading out to these areas, and yeah, now it's looking like things have taken a step down, which is good. So nothing too much to report there. Yeah, I actually didn't really have a whole lot planned for this. There's just a lot of kind of back-end stuff going on here, little improvements here and there. I did kind of fix up the article section a little bit more here, so things here, at least with the peer-reviewed papers that I have listed, have been fully updated, and I went through, double-checked all the licenses. So right now this one has the slightly different Creative Commons license, which allows me to link the article, but I cannot have a PDF. I can do the verbatim plain language summary, but that's how that is, so that's nice and updated. And then this one, I actually didn't realize it was the regular Creative Commons license, so I can have the PDF viewer, so that's cool. Just kind of tidied things up a little bit, and then I have a new one here, which Ben posted in one of his latest updates. So this is a much newer article here that has come out regarding the 2024 May solar storm that happened. So this one was pretty major. I mean, even though we've had some bigger X-flares lately, this solar storm last year was actually the worst one we've had, even including the kind of mid-January one that we had last month. So this one basically found that we had like actual plasma penetration kind of deeper into the atmosphere, and it has to do, without, really understanding all the details here. Basically, there's like two different layers with the electrons and some of the other geomagnetic mechanics here. And while those electrons basically pushed kind of in between those two radiation belts and for an extended period, which, again, has some connotation to the weakening of the magnetic field, the pole strength, and, some of the things going on with the broader scale. So that's definitely a good find. And again, there's just so many things to add here. I mean, even for me to add a single one of these articles here, it takes, I don't know, anywhere between since I've been still figuring things out, now I think I have things pretty dialed in with the general format and looking for all of the citation attributions that are needed. So now I could probably get these done, hopefully, in about 10 to 15 minutes a piece. But so far it's been taking me generally about half an hour to get even just one of these in here. And then, double check, triple check everything. So everything's looking good there. And this is getting one step closer to actually becoming a website and a potential tool that anyone can use to dive into these subjects. Again, I'm really focusing on the educational aspect here. There's not going to be any paywalls. There's not going to be any advertising. There's not going to be any cookies. All right. There's not going to be any data that this site is going to need to collect besides basic server, web page data for debug purposes, and that'll all be outlined and transparent. So I'm pretty happy with the progress I've made. Like I said, this is going to be educational. There's going to be lots of descriptions for things, tidbits here and there. So even people that aren't familiar with these things could go here and just kind of explore and do their own researching. So, that's kind of how that is. So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with the direction this is going. and there's, really the sky's the limit with this thing. So I'm pretty excited to get this thing out. But again, there's just a lot of kind of things in the background I need to make sure is all in order for this to be a fully realized thing. So that's kind of how that's going along. And there's really not a whole lot to cover here other than that. So, I'll just kind of make it pretty quick and leave it with that. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this one, and I will catch you all in the next.